It is Tuesday, May 25th, and this is the City of Twinsburg regular caucus meeting here at the Twinsburg Government Center. I would like to call this to order. Shannon, please call the roll.
Mr. Levy?
Here.
Mr. Barr?
Here.
Mrs. Walker?
Present.
Mrs. Stauffer?
Here.
Mr. Fury?
Here.
Ms. McFerrin? Mr. Bella?
Okay, no presentations tonight, Shannon?
There are none.
Okay.
So,
Mayor?
if we could during, I guess maybe it could be on items of discussion. So Keith asked if he could do his report during caucus meeting. So whatever time you see fit for that.
Okay, well, all right, no presentations. Let's go to items for discussion. How about that? I'll have Keith come up then. Keith? Come on up.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hope you're all well. I just wanted to put together a little bit of a response in some of the activities we've had as of late. I know that, excuse me, I've received calls and emails from almost everybody on council about specific properties and or concerns. We are doing our best to diligently stay ahead of a lot of the actions and activities that are happening within the city. I think at this point right now, we're transitioning from our older permitting system to the newer, and we're still working out some of the kinks. More to that point, there was a comment, I guess, on Facebook, which I didn't read the details, but it was related to the letters that we're sending out for complaints or point of sales, things like that. And I guess it was an oversight in that we transitioned from one administrative assistant to another, and we were printing our return envelopes and covers, which that message sort of got lost in the training transition. We didn't have, we're still in the training process because our admin left, Ryan Kennedy, who is now at the rec center. So he is back and forth. In fact, we've made arrangements. He can come back once a week to work with our admin to kind of work through some of the details. He did quite an oversight of the actual paper flow through the office, which he did a great job. And we're trying to transition that to somebody new. So we had somewhat of an oversight in that he would print those and then get those prepared so they could be sent out. And there was a time, I guess, when we ran out of some envelopes, which I wasn't aware of, and our part-time inspector diligently kept processing notices, and he was handwriting some of the envelopes. So that's kind of it.
So this was envelopes or this was letterhead?
Well, that's part of it. The envelopes were handwritten, but the letters are now a newer format that come out of our system, which we're going to be populating the website with to show a sample letter of that, what you'll see. It does have a Twinsburg logo on it. It's slightly modified from the original format that had the Twinsburg script across the top. It has that, but it's in a smaller like PDF in the corner. The reason for that is the programming for this permitting system we have has to make any document fit their process. And because the programmers set it up that way, that's the closest we could come to what we were using. So that's going to be sort of the new format.
So we don't order envelopes? I mean, we print our own envelopes here? Is that what we do?
It depends on the department. So
Yeah,
Ryan was doing it that way. Other people don't.
He was printing envelopes.
Yeah, I think, Ryan had the skill set where he did a lot of electronic work. So he was able to print and process things. And I think what had happened was in ordering office supplies, he might have ordered the envelopes that did not have the return address. So he was printing those. Because we typically do order envelopes that have a pre-printed return address on them,
Right.
which is typically what the case was. So I think that's what happened. At the end of office supplies, there were these blank envelopes, so he started printing those before we could order a new batch. So I could assure you, we're not going to be doing it again. I said the next step would be to order a ream of paper and have somebody fold and cut and make envelopes. So I don't think we're going to do that. Oh, so along those lines, I guess that's what I wanted to say. You know, we are extremely busy. We're actually, I think, a little busier than previously. I have tried to address most of the grass complaints you guys have brought forward, some of the properties that people have had concerns about. I think we're staying close to ahead, but there is, I guess I'm asking for a little bit of a buffer there because we are working diligently to do it. It's just giving us a little bit more time to take care of that. Just the same as signs. I know the signs have become a concern. We've done what we could. I know we're still going to continue that, but we have one full-time inspector, myself, and a part-timer, as you know. Hopefully we get to the point where we have 2 full-time inspectors that would help alleviate some of that. One of the things I did actually to kind of compare where we are today from where we were the last few years, I ran a little report to see what we were doing financially as far as the building department for permits. So this year, I just pulled it from February, March, April, May, and June. Of course, we don't have June now, but going back a few years, I used those months. So in February, we had $146,290 in permits that we pulled in. In 2020, which obviously we started to see the start of COVID, we had 22,462. 2019, we had 5,813. In 2017, it was 55,369. So we're up. Same thing, March, we were at 71,000. Last year, 38,000. 2019, 29, and these I'm rounding, of course. 2017 was 55. In April, we did 179,643. Last year was 81,282. 2019 was 43,47, and 2017 was 68,727. So it's still, I thought it was just an anomaly, but I think this year we're seeing a lot more activity, not only because obviously interest rates are low, but we now have the ability to collect permits online. So you have a multitude of these companies that replace hot water tanks, install windows, furnace and air, and they can conveniently get permits. Now, I can't say that's attributed to all of it, but I think that's a significant factor because previously we were getting faxes and various things, and most contractors, if it's a struggle to get the permit, they'll try to do it without getting the permit. Now, most want to get the permits, and if it's easy and convenient, they'll do it. So I think that's part of the bump in these numbers that I see. For May, I have up until today, it was 144,226. So we're steadily, maintaining about 100,000 average. I went back to 2016 in June, we were at 68,733. I didn't do all 3 months. In 2017, I think our highest month was June at 91,844. So I guess it's just provides some support to the activity we're seeing right now. So with that, I guess I just wanted to, again, apologize if there's been any delays. I know most of you have my cell phone. Please call that number because that's probably the easiest way to get a hold of me. So, because sometimes if phone comes into my desk, it rolls right into the email, and it might be a day or more before I get back to you, even up to a week, I could say. I hate to say that, but that's the reality. Pardon me?
From an email?
Yes. Yeah, I have quite a few emails in there. Because typically what I'll do is I'll see the phone call come in as a line. And usually what I'm trying to do is stay ahead of all those. So I'll write down my messages every day or every other day. I'm writing down all my messages and calling them. So usually it's a few days that I call everybody back.
What for resident emails? They get a week wait too?
No, emails I'm responding to. It's the phone messages to my desk.
Those show up as
responded
emails. Those
to my
show up
email.
as emails.
Yeah, they just
You
show up
responded
as
to my email today.
Yeah, that's what I said. With regular emails and calls to my cell phone, I respond pretty quickly. But the way the desk phone receives those calls, if I'm not at my desk, 'cause I'm typically in and out, it will go right into the email queue, and it just shows up as a City of Twinsburg, COT voicemail. So I have to literally, right, I have to literally click in it, listen to it, write it down. So it just takes a little bit longer. So usually I try to, if I have some time, a half hour, I can do that. So that's what that delay is.
Well, thank you for responding to my email today, and I look forward to hearing from you to see where this is going with that house there.
Yeah,
On Serene.
we'll get on that. I don't think the house is vacant. It could be now, but we cited that same property last year in June. And there is a resident that's listed on there. So we haven't gotten anybody calling as far as a bank. Typically, when a house goes vacant, we will hear right away that somebody's calling saying they don't see any activity, and there's no activity and there's other things going on there.
Well, you saw the email, that's what the lady said to me, that there's nobody there, it's vacant. She's
Right.
there,
That could be the case now. They could have moved out in the last few months.
Okay.
Also on Hawkins, we did go to that property. That grass was cut in the back. I looked at some of the photos. I think there are some areas in there where there's not that much grass. It looks like it's heavily wooded, but they did cut the rear yard and on the tree lawn side of those. They planted some bushes along the road there. So, but we'll also look at whatever else we can on any of the other properties that bring to our attention.
And I know we've had questions on the house on Ravenna Road.
Right.
So I've been in contact. We were actually messaging right before this meeting. He got out of work late. We were supposed to try to talk today, and then I had counsel now. So we're going to try to touch base tomorrow so I can get an update from the family about what's the status of that property.
That's the house that's falling down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what we're talking
10539.
like
Yeah,
across the
we
street
have
from Greg's.
been
Yeah.
staying on that as best as possible.
Yeah.
In that, I know there's some legal stipulations with it. I actually communicated with one of the owners today who said that the brother, I believe, has power of attorney. So there's some things going on within their family
Yeah.
and probate.
But yeah.
Hey, that one quick one, I don't want to turn this into a complaint thing, but Ravenna Road coming into the town from Oakwood Village, I'm still gonna tell you that it doesn't look pretty coming into Twinsburg from there. There's a house on the right-hand side, tree's been down for weeks, the grass is longer than long, and it's almost across the street from those cottages,
Okay.
okay? If somebody could take a look at that, it's not a pretty sight coming into Twinsburg from Oakwood or from anywhere on
Yeah.
that side of town.
I know that property at the corner, that commercial property, we've been out there many times for related property maintenance issues. And the owner has complied, but it's taken some time.
To that house?
I'm talking about the commercial,
Oh, that's the
Building.
Fish
Yeah.
Masha signs that are up there now.
I
There's
know.
all
Right.
kind of signs there. But, it's a house just down from there. The grass is way high, there's trees falling in the property. Just doesn't look nice.
okay, yeah, we'll address that.
That's all I have. Anything else, Keith? Do you have anything?
No, if you have anything else, I'll write them
Anybody
down.
else?
and,
No, thank you,
No.
Keith.
Good?
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Like I said, I wish we could, or I could at least respond a little quicker, but I think we are staying ahead of it for the most part. It's just, I know that sometimes people get frustrated if you're not calling back within an hour of posting these things. We are staying ahead of it the best we
All right.
Thank you.
can. Thank you.
Appreciate
All
it.
right. Thanks, Keith.
Thank you.
Okay, Shannon, any audience participation?
There
No
is
grass, I have to cut my
Caucus.
grass every 5 days.
Sorry?
If you don't cut it
I
for
didn't
2
see
weeks,
anyone
it's
from
old.
Caucus.
No, not right now. No, you can't. Mrs. Clark, did you have anything? I saw you up here. Anything for Caucus?
No, it's just council.
Okay. All right. Next, pending legislation. Ordinance 41, 2021. Okay, I'm gonna read it or you're gonna read it?
We're in caucus, so
Yeah.
I don't usually, but I
All
can
right,
if you'd
yeah.
like.
Yeah, I'll just point out, this is our on this one, the next one, 41 and 42, I believe, are both the roof,
Right.
accepting the bid on the roof replacements. We are we bid these with alternates. So we have two different contractors because we picked the lowest, Mr. Campbell picked the lowest for each of the two roofs. The same bidder did not have the overall low.
Right.
So that's why we have two different contractors for each roof.
Just a quick question. I remember one of these coming through Capital Improvements Board. Were they both recommended?
I believe the vehicle storage did not go to capital
129.
Okay.
Yeah, the community center did.
Wastewater.
Yeah, the community center, I know that one did, but the vehicle storage was not.
Correct.
Okay.
That's for the.
Yeah.
community center.
Vehicle storage is in wastewater, that's $129,640. And then the 2021 is $242,900, and that's for the community center.
Right.
Anybody have any questions on those?
No.
And that's on tonight, to be passed as an emergency. Okay, number 43 is, that's an ordinance to establish the fund for the police and fire, a levy that was passed by the residents on May 4th, and this will be on for emergency tonight as well. Anybody have anything? Actually, Sarah went over this with us at the Finance Committee meeting and gave us how that's going to be split up, of course, 0.7 and 0.7, one each for the police and fire pensions. And then the other mill will go to capital. That capital will be combined for police and fire. They're not going to be a separate fund for police or fire. It's going to be in the safety department, police and fire capital program. And the first year it'll be about $708,000 going into that fund for the police and fire. And so the two chiefs of the two departments will figure out how they're going to work with that money that's in that single pot that's going to be for the safety committee, for the safety services in the their capital account.
And
Any questions?
Just to also go a little bit further, so the revenue coming in from this levy is being designated to a separate, it's called Police and Fire Levy Fund. And so this is separate from the general fund, this is separate from the capital fund, and then from that will be the sub-accounts that Mr. Scafidi talked about.
Okay. Anybody else have anything on that?
No.
Okay, next is 44, 2021. That's for the annual recodification and editing of the codified ordinances of the city. That's on tonight's agenda as well. And within that will be also the addition of the charter change that the residents passed back in last November. So that'll then now be added to the charter. So that's part of that. And that'll be on first reading tonight. Okay. Next we have miscellaneous. Anybody on council have any miscellaneous?
Not this evening for me.
Nothing. I have one thing I'd like to, I guess there was some talk about, I want to get council's opinion about starting the council meeting immediately following the caucus meeting. Instead of, it'll probably be done in about 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and we can go right into council. How does everybody up here feel?
I don't have a copy of the charter, but I thought the charter said it started at 7.
I think that's in codified.
Yeah, it's in the codified. It's not.
So you can move it. Okay.
We'd have to amend the codified if you want to do that and have the council meeting start at 7 with the caucus and then the regular council meeting immediately following, or something to that effect. But we would have to bring legislation to change that if council decides to do
It's
it.
fine with me. I don't
What's
care.
council's pleasure?
That's fine.
Most of the time it takes a half hour anyway, or we run over.
Ladies? Good.
That way you don't get into the,
Yeah, I'm
late.
fine with it. I mean, it's similar to like planning commission has a work session, so to speak, and then roll right
And then
into
go
the
right
meeting.
into
Their meeting,
Mhm.
yeah. Okay, can you do legislation on that?
Sure.
Mr. Mayor?
Shannon, have we done that before? It's been a long time, but I'm trying to, I think
We did do that a long time.
But I feel like we
We
there was a
started
reason
meetings
why we
later
did
at one
this.
point. We started them at,
It's
we were at 8 at one time, like,
Yeah,
when you
7:30
first
was
started, were
caucus,
we at 8?
was
I
council.
remember we had,
Yeah.
We used to have 8 o'clock meetings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And we
I
were
just
here till
can't remember
11.
why we changed it to have a specific start time at 7.
If you have the first meeting start at 7 and you roll right into it, it is what it is.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
I'm good with
Okay.
that.
Okay, if nobody has anything else, we will adjourn the caucus meeting and we will start our council meeting at 7:30.